Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TheNgeeShow. It's been 10 years. I didn't realize that my first episode aired in February of 2014. And so 10 years later, I'm back. I've been gone for about, I want to say 4 years, maybe it was 3. Maybe it was COVID. I did a few things during COVID, but I'm back and I promise not to go anywhere. We're back, we're keeping it classic, we're keeping it simple. It's not a podcast. Yeah, it's not going to be a mic show. No offense to podcasters, but something happened during COVID, and COVID was real, it happened. But we're here, we're back. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Ngozi. Welcome back to TheNgeeShow. On this episode, I'm talking about 2023, a recap of 2023, and I thought it was a good way to come back. I'm going to highlight the 10 things that made an impact for me in 2023. Number 1, as it should be, if you're Nigerian, the top thing on your list was the presidential elections. And I tell you what broke my heart the most about the presidential elections is that they turned it into a tribal campaign, right? When the whole thing started and they said Peter Obi was running, a lot of people were swaying on the Labour Party side because Labour Party meant not non-politics, we know they're all politicians, but it meant like less of the usual. That's what a lot of people believed. So when they were singing that Obike, all those things, like it was fun. Nigerians, who are we if we don't make fun of everything, right? BAT, Long Live Presido, is a seasoned politician, a seasoned businessman, a seasoned accountant. He won, the right man for the job is there, and we're working towards a better Nigeria. But it became Igbo versus Yoruba, and then Atiku was somewhere there, like galvanizing kind of round the block. It broke my heart. I know that as a country, tribalism is still a very strong thing, but that just kind of really broke my heart. I had people telling me, of course you're supposed to be. I said, the reason is, Ngozi, you're Igbo. Really? Hopefully we can do better next time. So the presidential elections happened in Nigeria. We voted in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have a long road to recovery because we've had years of I'm probably going to bleep that out because I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, on the internet, but it's been many years of so we have a long road and we need to be patient and we need to do it as a team. Number 2, the scarcity of cash last year. And you guys, I tell you what, Nigeria is not a real place because when this thing was happening, it was like a joke. There was no cash. There was no cash. Apparently, like you would go to the ATMs and the lines were very long. And then the ATM will only dispense a certain amount. It was something out of like an Armageddon movie where the government was controlling the way the people were behaving. And we're like, this is really happening. Apparently, the people who had POS, like the payment portal, you could use your card to withdraw. They had cash. So you would pay into their account using the POS portal, and they would give you cash. But if you wanted to withdraw 8,000 naira, you would pay them 10. So they'll take 2,000 naira from you and give you 8K. You guys were pretending like we didn't just live through that. That happened. That happened in 2023, not even a year ago. But anyway, so that happened. On top of that cash one, like literally there were no, what's the word? There were limits. You would go to the bank and the bank would only give you 5,000 naira. That's your cash for the day. What were we doing? Anyway, long and short of the story, the cash thing was really bad. And I think we woke up one day and poof, it was just gone. And the question was like, how? Why? Oh, and then we had new notes that we didn't even need. Eventually, the notes came and they said we didn't really need it. They gave us an ultimatum. You have to return your old notes. I still used an old note in 2024. And then they now locked up the CVN governor. Because, boy, you were a bad boy. Not just you and a lot of others, I'm sure, but they scapegoated you. So it is what it is. But, Lele Fiele got locked up and I think he's still there. Either way, that cash thing was a hot mess. Number 3, and you see how our problems are all financial. The Naira now just doubled versus the dollar in decline. You know what I mean? So And then as that thing was happening, the price of everything, that's what baffles me is, why does the price of orange go up when Naira goes up? Why does the price of agbalumo, udala, just for me to buy agbalumo, has gone up? Madam, everything don't cost. Why it costs, ma? Why dollar they affect you? Again, of course, we know that inflation, unemployment, there are other things that affect these things, but the price of the Naira versus the dollar escalated, and then suddenly everything followed it. Every single thing. And when have you ever seen the Naira versus dollar, change, Naira go down versus the dollar and come back up? Never. Never. Never ever. Oh my God. Number 4, Hilda Bassi's Cookathon. Hilda Bassi made it to the Guinness Book of World Records for the person who had cooked for the longest time. Someone has beat her record now, but she cooked for almost 100 hours, which I think was fantastic. It was amazing how so many people just galvanized around her. They were standing outside. People were, doing vigil there. Celebrities visited her. It was so beautiful to watch. And then, like everything with Nigerians, everybody, athons started. Marathon cooking, stand-a-thon, sing-a-thon, massage-a-thon. The massage-a-thon woman now. The massage-a-thon woman now fainted on live, and they had to massage her back. It's not funny. It's not funny because, it could have been really dangerous for her, but she massaged live. And then there was a washathon. Someone who decided that she was going to hand wash the way, like the times of old. If you don't live in Nigeria, or if you didn't live in Nigeria as a young person, or, you don't even know what it means to wash clothes by hand. This lady decided she was going to do a washathon and started. First of all, I don't even know where she sourced the clothes. I don't even know if the clothes were dirty. But she started washing for like 60 hours. Her hands, oh my goodness. Anyway, so there was a washathon. Her hands changed complete color. So there was a sing-a-thon. And I think as soon as Hilda Bassi won, per usual, the Ghanaians showed up. Some guy wanted to cook. Look, listen. Hilda, again, congratulations. It doesn't matter if somebody else has done it. You did your thing, girl. Well done. All right, let's move over kind of to the international scene. The missing submarine, if you guys remember. I'm going to keep this one very simple because I don't want to laugh. Because, when there's a level of money you have, and you're just like, what I'm finna do today, right? What I'm finna do today that poor people cannot do. I want to go see the remains of the Titanic. Yup. I'm going to put myself in a little submarine this size with a bunch of other rich folk, and we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the water and find the Titanic remains, which was apparently projected. Not that they saw it live because it was really dark under there. It's not funny because none of them made it back. But part of the problem was that there was so much going on in the world, but the focus was on finding these rich people that had gone down with the submarine. That happened. May their souls rest in peace. Amen. Next. Number 6. I don't care much about the white colonizer, but King Charles was sworn in as King of England in 2023 in May. And it breaks my heart because I just heard that he has some kind of cancer, and I hope he gets better because he waited for this throne for like 125 years, something like that, because Queen Elizabeth ruled for 600. So anyway, he was sworn in. It was huge celebrations. England was in damn near a recession. People couldn't pay their bills, housing issues, everything, and yet they spent one ridiculous amount of money on the coronation. It was heavy. It was beautiful to watch. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it, but it was a lot of money spent. He's been crowned king, and long live the king and everything. Bless y'all. Number 7, the wars. And I think these ones are really breaking my heart because it's really just about the underdog and the big guy. So there was Russia, Ukraine. And it's like, oh my God, Ukraine, look at what Russia's doing. These big guys are just stumping out the little guys. You know, how can Putin do this? It's so sad, you know, oh my gosh. You know, Vladimir, the Ukrainian president look at this great guy, you know, struggling for his country, and they just and it was terrible. Like, first of all, I hate war. I do not get the point of war. Just, it never ends well. Innocent people are killed. People are playing God. And then, towards the end of the year, Israel-Palestinian war. And they're wiping out the Gaza Strip. They're just wiping it out. And suddenly it's, oh, look what the Palestinians did on October 6th, I think it was, or whatever that day was. And I'm like, but Israel has been... I'm not even going to comment on the Israeli-Palestinian war. I just pray that there will be a ceasefire soon. Because whatever it is that's happening, the people that you're killing are not the ones who are the cause of the problems. And I want to add this on this war conversation is, let's just love. It's actually easier to love than to hate. Like, see him, Muslim, I want bowing down. Or look at him, you know, Allahu Akbar. Or look at her, how Christian. Or look at him, he smells of curry. Or look at him, dude, y'all, like, you know, let me tell you what happened recently. I was walking in my neighborhood and somebody was selling fresh farm eggs in front of their house. And so I saw that the eggs were different colors. It was weird. I'll post a picture of it. But the eggs, there was a white one, there was a green one. I was like, that's weird. Who chicken laid a green egg? But this egg was green, one was white, one was brown. You know, we usually see white and brown eggs more than we see any other color. The point is, I was very excited, so I bought these eggs because fresh farm eggs, the chickens were in the back, they laid the eggs, they're not modified by any chemicals. When I got home, I'm making an omelette. I broke 6 of these eggs. Guess the color of all the yolk and egg whites inside? The same. Yep, they were all yellow. They were all yellow. And it's the same as us human beings. We're different colors, different skin tones. You might have been black once, but now you're white. We'll talk about bleaching another day. But if I cut you, you're gonna bleed red. Yeah. Number 8, and this has been around for a while, and when I say this, I'm talking about AI, artificial intelligence. But I feel like in 2023, especially in Nigeria, it took off. If you have a young person working for you, they're using ChatGPT. So just take a deep breath and just calm down. But the rise of artificial intelligence means that the future is going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. We're using AI for everything. I'm not on Snapchat, but apparently Snapchat also has an AI filter. And so now instead of typing or whatever, you just talk and tell it. I use Canva. Canva also has AI. So if you are sleeping, stop sleeping. Even if you don't learn it, understand it, because whether you like it or not, once that tech boom and the whole thing happened, everything as we know it changed, and it's going to keep changing as we move forward. So welcome to the world of AI, welcome to the world of tech. Stop running away. You can't hide anymore. And finally, number 10, coming back to Nigeria, Japa. Last year was the year of the exodus. Like, people have been exiting. You know, there have been so many programs, the American, diversity lottery program, the Canadian, but once this Canada one started and the UK one, oh my gosh. It's a mass exodus. A cousin of mine who manages a branch of one of the big banks in Nigeria said she lost 6 of her staff directly working under her in 2 months. 6. These are people. These are not homeless, jobless, I'm just doing one job. I don't know how I'm going to get by. These are people who had a monthly salary in a bank. They took off. Now, what I will say, and I do appreciate that I probably speak from a place of privilege because I'm able to travel, I live abroad, whatever it is, but I do, and I'm going to come back home. That's not the conversation, but Last year was Japa Pro Max, and if you're not Nigerian, Japa simply means the mass exodus of a lot of people in search of greener pastures in the West. Canada, the UK, flipping Hungary even, depending on where you can get to. Ghana, shoot, some people probably went to Benin Republic, I don't know. But for them, it's get out of Nigeria and you have a better life. But there's so many people that are trying to come back. So many people got there and that promise was false. They got there and realized, oh crap, because they'll sell you that story. £1 is 1.5 now, 1,500 naira. By the time you make £20, do you know how much it is? By the time you make £10, you pay off your bills. Lies. Because the bills that you have to pay over there, you're also paying them in pounds. Some woman got over there with her 3 kids. The job that the agent promised her only allowed her to work 20 hours a week. So first of all, she can't even make enough money. If you know anything about England, which I think is the worst place to migrate to, the houses are small. Everything is small. So you're managing in a small space. God forbid you move there in the winter months. You will suffer. You will be cold. People are paying £50 to people to sleep on their corridors. People are still having money sent to them from Nigeria and they've moved over there. If you move there with the right papers and the right job, will you do well? Yes, you could. You probably will succeed. So there are some success stories, but the unsuccessful stories are more. The point is weigh your options before you take off from Nigeria in search of I'm never coming back to the country again. Anyway, welcome to 2024. I'm glad you're here. For those that we lost, may they continue to rest in peace. For those who are still here, remember that you only have one life to live. Love, have fun, enjoy yourself, be kind to other people, be disciplined, work hard, and remember the things that are important. Health is wealth. My name is Ngozi. If you have any comments, please make them in the comment section under the screen. Stay with me as I continue to bring you The NG Show. Thank you very much. Have a good one.